We're live now, so I have it on just to make sure that what happened last time was I was trying to broadcast on my
your own internet.
yeah, not you guys. Yeah, thank you.
So is it on?
It's on now. It wasn't on earlier because I didn't have a strong enough signal.
Gotcha.
Experience NOLA Heritage.
So we're now live on Facebook, Experience NOLA Heritage, where you can check us out here in studio, here in our gorgeous WGSO studios in the CBD. Our talk line 504-556-9696. Joined here, Charles Marsala with us, researcher and author, and talk show host himself. He's got his own TV program on WLAE, which is where my show is. By the way, tonight 7:30 and Sunday at 10 on WLAE. So, Charles, let's get some calls in, and let's go to our friend Marion, who's with us in Metairie. What's happening, Marion? Good morning. Welcome. Oh, right. That explains it. Mm-hmm.
If that's true, it does make a little more sense, except that the terminal, the new terminal, which looks nice as I see it taking off and landing, if everything around the terminal sinks, including the sewer system, we're really not going to be able to get to it.
Yeah, hang on, Marion. Let's get Charles's take on this.
The BLOB will be in deep poo-poo if it sinks with the sewage there.
Right.
Yes, it is. It's amazing to think that that's what's sinking. And like I said, I lived out there, and to move it from the river, closer to the river by airline, out to Veterans, you're putting it in a softer soil that used to be a swamp. So that is an interest to me that if they thought to do that, and that they thought that they could somehow reinforce it enough without having the sinkage that we've seen in Kenner and Jefferson. That's an issue. And what's humorous to me is this ramp situation that they're looking at. They started out with like 15 different ideas, and they labeled them A through S. And when they got done, they're now down to 3, and they're labeled E, I, and L. And if you play it like a Beatles record backwards, it's L-I-E.
Yeah, right, how appropriate.
Yes, so it is the Southwest thing would be great. I thank you for calling on that. We have a Facebook page if you want to send some notes, because someone had informed us 2 weeks ago about the sinking problem. I'd love to know more about the Southwest, and it lets me start to ask some people I know questions about a new hub.
All right, Marion, any follow-up? All right, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. That's Marion in Metairie. 504-556-9696. Charles Marsala with us. Jeff Pruitt here talking about this new terminal that is now delayed, and some questions now being raised. Let's go to our good buddy, Zach in Pearl River. How you doing, Zach? Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning to you guys too.
Good morning.
He is always the one that you go to every day. But look, my friend, on the last contact I asked a question about, are they planning to keep the existing airport? That's correct?
Well, you know what I think is it's like a hope and a dream. I mean, I've heard different things that it will be closed, and that the thing is that the day that happens, and actually it was planned to happen during Mardi Gras this year, next year, believe it or not, that you were going to leave out of the old terminal and have to fly back into the new terminal. They don't have anybody that's going to take over those gates as of today. And if they're making a pitch to Southwest, there's nothing that I've seen at the airport meetings. So that's all going on behind the scene that I would know of. Now, if Southwest.
Now, this is just an Uber driver who said this to
Yes.
Marion. So, I mean, I don't know if that's a good source or not, Charles. Some Uber driver. A lot of Uber drivers have told me all kind of things.
Well, as we know what's going on at the Supreme Court hearings, anything's possible.
Yeah, anything is possible, right?
Oh, I was going to say, didn't they spend millions and millions of dollars renovating the existing airport twice already?
They have, yes, and one of the things somebody pointed out to me, and it was higher up than an Uber driver, that the NFL does not like to see host cities have to take rental car shuttles to get there because of the extra hours. When you land at the current terminal, you grab your bag, you go to get your car, and you're gone. At the new place, you're going to have to wait for a shuttle. There might be 30 people on a shuttle bus. You'll ride over to the place, and if you're last in line, how much longer is that going to mean for you to get in and out? And if you're the NFL and you got all those people flying in and out for a Super Bowl or any business trip, it changes the logistics.
Let me get to my next question.
Yes.
The transportation service. Now, are they going to accommodate the Uber and Lyft at the new airport?
I would assume so. I haven't gone that far with what I've been looking at. Primarily, I started off with the logistics as I read this report, and it popped out at me 30 million extra vehicle miles. I saw that, and then I started reading the time delays of people sitting in traffic, because we don't think about that. How much extra CO2 goes in if you're going to wait in traffic for an hour with your car idling? I mean, there's all these other impacts. So I haven't looked at the taxi cab Uber. I'm assuming that that's there, and there are some benefits. I mean, some people have said the TSA is going to be modernized. It's a chance to clean that up so you can go through TSA faster. But, I'm thinking all this to get a Bricados and an Emeralds on the other side of TSA seems like a lot.
Let me ask you one more question.
Yes, sir.
It's supposed to run in that the new airport is supposed to be in just for the. This is what I've heard. I don't know. You can clarify.
Yeah.
That it was just supposed to be for international flights direct from around the world. Is that correct, or is that just? Because I heard a lot of cities that they built other airports, but they kept the existing airport and built another one, and they used one for like local.
Right, and one for international. Like Kennedy and LaGuardia.
Yeah.
Right.
And
yeah.
I lived in San Jose, and we did that in San Jose and in San Francisco, where there's an international terminal. But typically, you want that terminal right next to your other ones, so that if you're landing from London and you want to go to Dallas, you walk over. You don't have to do this changing from all across the different fields. Those airports are normally walking distance next to each other and connected by a walkway. So the idea that you have that in New Orleans just doesn't have that much direct international travel. I don't think we ever will. We're not like in Atlanta, where you have a hub. We have a Gulf of Mexico below us. We just don't have that many destinations south of New Orleans.
Charles, in our final few minutes here, and Zach, thank you for your call. So the existing airport, what we know right now, that we go to right now, and haven't gone to for years, will we pretty much shuttered the whole thing?
It's as far as I know, and if I'll update if I'm wrong, but what I have is it's going to be shuttered. And
all the garages and all that?
I haven't looked at the garages, but basically that personnel, there'll be one day, and I think it's May 19th now next year. They'll go to work on May 18th at the old one, and on May 19th, those people will show up at the new one. And there'll be nobody there. It'll be empty on May 19th.
The whole thing will be empty.
As far as, Jeff, what I have right now, and again, I may make an error, but it looks like everything that I've read, that's what I'm hearing.
And we're going to go from 42 gates down to 35
yes,
gates.
and I want to put a footnote there. Concourse A, which has 6 gates, has been closed for a period. So some people say, oh, well, we only have 36 right now. But we have this other concourse that's been sitting unused. And that the current airport, they were saying, this is called right sizing, which makes no sense to me, because you're downsizing a city where traffic is growing. So why don't you just wait till you get back up to 42?
Yeah, so I guess when is the next meeting of this aviation board, and are these some of the issues that they're going to be addressing? Have you gotten any feedback to any of these questions that you've raised?
Well, they actually had a meeting last night. They were approving more money. As you know, it's gone from $650 million when Mayor Landrieu first proposed it. We're now at over $1 billion. And I think that doesn't include later they're going to build a rent-a-car structure. They might have to go to 42 gates. So you're talking another $300 million there. That didn't include the flyover ramp. I'm wondering, like, as far as fuel tanks, if the fuel tanks are on the south side for the airplanes, how do you get the fuel to the north side? And they're talking about some new system to do that. But is that underground and sinkage? Is that a problem? So, we could be easily at 1.3 million without the ramp. You're at 1.6, and before you know it, you're at 2. So a $600 million project becomes a $2 billion project.
Mm-hmm.
They meet at the airport monthly. I went yesterday. The room was packed, and in general, I know the engineers that are working on this that got some of the contracts. They're good people, and people want to do the right thing. However, the board made a choice, and I don't think the city council, when they approved this decision, said, hey, this is a $2 billion project. I think they approved a $650 million project, and then you come back and say, oh, we forgot a ramp, we forgot this, we forgot that.
Right.
So,
and as the costs go up, we're going to keep looking to the federal government to bail us out and pay for all of it?
a third of it is local, state and local bonds. You have the FAA funding a lot. You have airport fees. What I'm wondering is, and I jokingly, I know the people at Brocados and Emeralds, have they committed to buying ovens and such for their new facilities in this restaurant? Do they have bills to pay that we're going to open in February? And what does that do to all the vendors that would plan to be there that have made an investment and they've got bills to pay? So how are they impacted by this delay? And oddly enough, when the first commercial was released on the airport, it said on-time delivery October 2018.
And now it's going to be May of 2019.
Yes.
And it could very well be delayed after that.
It's definitely possible right now. You're so far out. Yeah.
Charles Marsala, where can people get more information about all this?
We have a Facebook page right now. It's called New Orleans Airport New $1.4 billion terminal. More CO2. It's lengthy, but I think if you just start with New Orleans Airport New Terminal, you'll find us. We've got about 200 followers so far. We just started there, and I'm seeing people are sharing it because the content is very good. And today, we were validated when you can see the papers today have all released stories that kind of start to hit the surface of what we've been reporting for the last month.
Yeah, good job, good reporting. Thank you very much. Charles Marsala with us. Jeff Career here. We'll come back and continue with our open line, get back to more of your phone calls, emails, a lot more to jam in here in our final few segments, right here on the airwaves on WGSO. Democrats now pushing to delay the Kavanaugh vote. President coming out strongly behind his Supreme Court nominee. So we still don't have any determination about when the hearing will take place and what kind of setup will be arranged. Jeff Career here. Let's get the latest from Louisiana Radio Network. We'll be